you can rarely see these sort of argument questions identifying the reasoning questions in your real GRE, but it is better to be learned these sort of questions also. Okay,
Yes,
so
sir.
as far as I remember, these questions I attempted when I scored over 160 in verbal part. So somehow if you are able to see these questions, means you must have done previous verbal section in a better way.
Oh,
You must
okay.
have done really well.
Okay.
You can expect these sort of questions in the next verbal section. Okay. These are the keywords based on which you can confirm, the question is asking you to identify the kind of reasoning, right? The approach the author followed to reason something. That's the question asks you, you should be able to check which option is correctly explaining the way uh, author followed to reason something, right? And again,
Yes,
you
sir.
should be able to split the given argument into claim and evidences like conclusion, premise. Okay. So the answer must describe the reasoning, how author actually reasoned his argument. And these are the wrong answer types. So you will always see good number of partial matches. So where is claim, where is evidence? No.
First line is the claim, sir.
First line is claim.
Yes,
Whose claim? Many people's claim. This is
yes, sir.
claim from many people. So many people's claim
Okay, it
becomes
becomes evidence.
evidence,
Okay.
base information, right? Or evidence. So this is not true. From here, it must be, you know, author's opinion.
Opinion, yes.
So the question is asking reasoning strategy. So let's understand what author actually done in his argument, how he has actually uh, discussed the evidence, what he
Yes.
did with that particular evidence, what he did with that base information. So author believes you know the well-known idea is actually wrong. What
Okay.
what is actually many people's belief is actually wrong. So author is directly opposing the given premise, right?
Yes, sir.
Next, and then he felt that hard work itself a reward. Hard work,
So this is not.
when the task was done satisfactorily, right?
Yes, sir.
Performed well, uh, task done satisfactorily, then itself hard work is a reward. So there is no necessity of additional thing like reward. Hard work itself a reward.
Correct.
So additional reward is not necessary. Additional reward is irrelevant. Am I right, buddy?
Yes, sir.
Additional reward is
Irrelevant.
irrelevant. Okay. Now
Yes,
check the answer choices. What's the option you have picked? Ah,
Sorry. I put. It's. I thought it's either B or C, sir. I wasn't sure
ah.
which one, sir.
So B, pointing out the inconsistencies in a counter argument. So counter argument, where is the counter argument? I can see evidence and author's opinion. So
Sir,
author's opinion
authors.
is not
Won't the author's opinion be a counter argument?
counter argument. There must be an argument. There must be additional information to counter it. I can
Sir,
see
but the
author's argument.
The argument is that many people feel that hard work deserves a reward, and the counter argument is that the
Is what?
author
His
disagrees with
idea.
it. No, sir.
Okay. So you mean author is pointing out the inconsistencies in the counter
Oh,
argument that was mentioned by himself,
by the author. Okay, okay, yes. Okay.
right? Has
Yes.
he
No,
spoken
no,
about inconsistencies from his own argument? No.
no.
Right. So somehow most people generally trapped by the answer choice A, but answer choice C is more clear. Answer choice A is not as clear as it is actually talking about the organization of the argument as well. Challenging the definition of the word reward, right? As per the author, the reward is irrelevant.
Yes,
Something extrinsic.
the hard work itself is the reward.
Naturally gives the worker reward, right?
Yes.
So claiming that what is commonly believed is false, still here you're actually correct, but for that very reason is for that obvious reason, for that exact reason, for that common reason. There is no such information as such that you can understand from this argument. The reason that author has presented why many people's belief is wrong, may or may not be the obvious reason. You
Yes.
can't say that is obvious reason. But option is mentioning that is obvious reason author mentioned. No?
Yes.
You can't eliminate C. Repeating, author has not actually repeated
Yes.
premise, like showing the popular belief. It's not about the popularity of the belief. C is the best. Any doubt in this, maybe?
So why is it not D, sir? Showing that popular belief is not as popular as
Obvious
this.
reason. The problem with the obvious reason.
Okay.
So how can you say this is obvious reason that author mentioned?
Sure. Okay.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Another type, as frequent as identifying the reason. I mean, that's not at all frequent.
So how much did you get, sir, in GRE?
I always get more than 315. Mostly I'll get 318. 318 is my brand scores.
Do you take official test again, sir?
Highest score is 330.
Wow.
So
How much you
resolve.
get first time, sir?
I frequently write. Okay, we will talk about this later on because
Okay.
it's secret. Yeah. Argument basic approach for resolve and explain. You can recognize these sort of questions by these keywords: resolve, explain, paradox. Okay. So you should be able to find out the conflict. So paradox, right, buddy? Something
Yes,
which
sir.
is correct and wrong at the same time. Okay, based on the perception, right? Know what the answer needs to do. Show how both statements can be true at the same time. The right option must support both the contrasting ideas. Right, buddy?
Yes, sir.
So make more meaningful, should present clear reasoning. Okay, how the two contrasting scenarios are actually feasible or actually possible.
Okay.
So these are the wrong answer types you can come across. Out of scope, makes the conflict worse, one-sided, something like that. Okay.
Yes.
Many people predicted the business at Jack's Lister. There is no necessity to split the argument because most of the entire argument is something which presented with facts, which were already happening, right?
Yes.
Okay, the contrasting ideas are many people predicted um, the market for the Jack's Lister gets reduced, would would
Correct.
would lose, but there were more number of lunches served even after establishment of Cindy's Cafe.
Opposing cafe.
So the question is asking most helps explain the increase. What's that increase? Now more number of lunches. The lunches served has actually increased. There must be the right option
C.
must give clear reason.
D, sir.
D. So sometimes most students generally get polarized towards the C, but that's not the thing. You can't say a profit per meal is always representative of more number of sales.
Correct.
So profit depends on the raw material cost and also the cost that the seller sells the product for, right?
Yes.
So the raw material cost is the lowest, the cost he sells the product might be the highest. Much be higher. Even he sells only one or two pieces, he may make more profit because the cost is so high,
Yes, sir.
right? So in that case, the sales are low, but the profit is high. So you can't judge the number of sales based on the profit per meal, profit per product,
Yes.
per product sale, right? Yeah. You can't reason it. D would be the best. Of course, the number of restaurant patrons in Santa Monica has doubled in the past 18 months. In this case, both can actually happen. The number of lunches, okay. People might predict the competitor also entered the race. So opponent definitely lose some market share. That might happen. Okay. The thinking,
Yes.
the prediction might raise. And also this also possible. Right, buddy? So the
Yes.
number of restaurant patterns in Santa Monica has doubled in the past 18 months. So in this case, the opponents in this cafe can get more number of sales. And also you can even reason this why Jack's Bistro has got more number of sales.
Yes,
Right,
sir.
buddy? The number of restaurant goers has increased in that area.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So you can't eliminate D. The rest of the things are irrelevant.
Yeah, so
You
don't
can't
listen.
say this. You can't go with this to reason why more number of lunches increased, although there was a competitor entered the race. Right? Now check the drill questions. I'll wait for another 2 minutes. These three questions are absolutely easy. Yeah. Let's discuss, buddies.
Yes.
Rahila, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yes. First question. Rahila, what's your pick?
Yes, sir. Is it C?
Let's see. Let's understand.
So I think it's easier.
You you picked A.
E.
There was a major source. There's no major source of water in the city of Honolulu. Must be. Let's see. The ancient Hurricanes used water power in their border towns for various purposes. Okay, so they are actually using water power, maybe hydropower, at border towns. Unexplicably, something unexplainable was there. They continue to use manual labor for same functions in their capital city, Avalon. Right. So border towns, they are using water power, but in the other cities, they are not using. They are just going with manual labor. Right.
Yes.
People are doing the things manually, but in the border towns, they are able to use water power. So might be more water resources in the border towns, right?
Yes.
Yeah, let's see. Which of the following, if true, explains the situation? The king of India officially endorsed water power. If he officially endorses, he must support, he must
He would have used it
install
in this
water power
capital city.
throughout his kingdom. The Huygens learned water power technology from his neighbors and policy. Even in this case, they must have followed throughout the city. Something else must have happened, but not going with water power only at the border towns. Must be a separate reason, a special reason, right? Water power was cheaper than manual labor. If water power was cheaper than manual labor, water power should be used even in other cities. I mean, even in capital city, right? But Rohila.
Yes, sir.
So no, the border towns of ancient country must have stronger security than it's not about security. E must be the answer. Lack of water resources. That's why they couldn't use. That's it. Right?
Yes.
Border
Yes.
towns must be of water resources. Any doubt in this? Rohila.
No, sir.
Second question. How about second? What
Sir,
are
is
your
it,
questions?
is it B?
So even I got B. Sir.
Different. So, yeah, let's understand. In 2013, the Highway Bus Company annual report noted an increase in A1 miles. It is AM, let's see. AM is actually number of paying passengers, and total number of miles, right? But
Yes.
so whenever you see there is an increment in A1 miles, there might be increment in number of paying passengers, there might be increment in miles. When paying passengers are constant, if number of miles traveled by them increase, then even in that case, you can see increase in the A1 miles.
Okay.
If the number of miles is constant, and paying passengers have increased, even they haven't traveled much more, if the paying passengers are more, even in that case, you can see increase in the A1 miles, right? So that is computed by multiplying. However, the highway experienced a decrease in number of paying passengers per bus trip in the number of bus trips made during 2013. Okay. In 2013, highway annual report noted an increase. A1 miles increased. Highway experienced a decrease in the number of paying passengers have actually decreased.
Per bus trip, please.
Right, buddy? So miles traveled by them must have been increased. Have you got my point? So
Yes.
if there is a dramatic increase in the number of miles traveled by the reduced passengers, even in that case, you can see increased A1 miles quantity.
Yes, sir.
Right? More increase in miles, which actually outperformed the decrease of the paying passengers, could lead to increase in the A1 miles quantity. Right? Right, buddy?
Yes, sir.
No.
So although there is a decrease in paying passengers, you can actually see increase in the A1 miles quantity. If you can see a dramatic increase, drastic increase in number of miles traveled by the lower number of paying passengers. Okay, would resolve the discrepancy. Yes. Which option is highway employees who ride for free comprise greater percentage of all highway bus rides? Is it talking about more number of miles traveled? Buddy,
No, sir. But none of the options are talking about miles.
must be, buddy, because it should increase, no? Highway employees who ride for free, it's talking about employees. The average passenger capacity of highway bus decreased in due to changes in designs. No. The average length of highway bus trip, yes. Length.
Sir, but length has nothing.
Why they increase the length? As per the number of passengers.
Sir,
As
the
per the number
increased
of,
length
I
it
mean,
means
mine,
like
let,
more
let,
number of passengers, right?
no, yes, yes. Passengers have reduced. Why they increase the length? Why average length has actually increased? Average length increased means
More miles.
the number of miles traveled by them has increased.
So, but so in the passage they said that highway experienced a decrease in number of paying passengers. That means
Yes.
they had more passengers who weren't paying. No, sir.
Number of paying passengers has reduced, no?
Yeah. So that means
So the
number of.
lower number of people have traveled more number of
No, no,
miles.
I'm not saying that, sir. I'm saying
Long journeys.
it says that number of paying passengers has decreased. That means
Yes.
number of passengers who are not paying has increased. No.
Sorry, yaar. All the passengers should pay. Will you allow anybody without paying?
So they
Passengers should
say,
paying passengers only. It
but they're
doesn't give any
saying that
sense like
highway employees are riding for free, no, sir. So
employees, buddy. A1 miles, miles. The quantity is measured by, the miles traveled. As have you got my point? Average length of a highway bus trip increased in 2013. So the bus trips average length increased means as per the number of miles, the passengers traveled, this average length of highway bus trip calculated. What my point, buddies?
yes, sir.
So the lower number of passengers have traveled long distances. They have actually traveled long distances. As they travel long distances, this quantity increases. Although the number of paying passengers reduced,
Miles has
but the particular
increased.
lowered number of paying passengers have traveled long distances, right? As they travel long distance, the average length the highway bus trip traveled increases, and it is also gives a sense like more number of miles traveled by the paying passengers, although they are lower. This is only the case. Can you check any other options as good as this? Somehow it is talking about the miles.
Yes, sir.
Rohila,
Yes, sir.
right? There is no other option even talking about the miles traveled. Average length of the highway bus trip increase means the number of miles, average miles traveled. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Why they increase the average length? As per the passengers. Although they are lower, they travel long distances.
Oh,
Right.
yes, sir.
That's how average might increased. Okay. So there is no other option is as good as this. Okay. Highway raised fares irrelevant. Only quantity talking about the length or miles traveled by passengers is this. Any doubt with this, Rohila?
No, sir.
How about this?
So I got C, sir.
Rohila, how about your pick?
Sir, I'm not sure. I think D, I'm not sure.
Uh, okay, in an effort to save energy, there's money, okay, and also money. Save the energy and also money. Many people keep their electric freezers half empty at all times, using them to store pre-frozen broth at store and nothing else. Okay. Yet, freezers that are half empty usually consume more energy than they would if they kept fully stocked. Clear? So the right option must reason this apparent discrepancy described. Discrepancy, this conflict. Generally, people do this, but actually, this is the fact, right, buddy?
Yes.
People generally do this, but this is the fact. Author has felt this is actually one, he believes, or this is the one actually. Okay, so the right option must support this one, right, buddy?
Yes.
So A given volume of air in a freezer requires much more energy to maintain at a temperature below freezing. Yeah. In that case, if this is true, this is actually correct.
Correct.
Right. So it is giving a sense. The more energy is required to keep the air, to get freezed than to keep the food get freezed.
Same volume of food frozen.
Right.
Yes.
So just giving, this is the case. It is easy for the fridge keep this food at freezing point, okay, but it is tough to maintain this empty space which is occupied by the air. Air must be cool, right?
Yes.
It requires more energy. If the air also has been replaced with stock, it is easy again for the fridge to keep them,
Yes.
right? Then if C is actually correct, it directly supports this, right, buddy?
Yes.
Rohila, have you got my point?
Yes.
The given volume of air in the freezer requires much more energy to maintain the temperature below freezing than the frozen food does. Right?
Yes.
In that case, obviously, yes. This evidence, this case, the scenario proves this point. Freezers that are half empty usually consume more energy because there will be half is occupied by the air, and it requires more energy to keep that air cool, right? Than it would if rest of the fridge kept stocked. Okay. The door of the full freezer is likely to be opened as often for longer periods than is half empty freezer. Okay, full freezer is likely to be opened often. So open. I mean, if you open it frequently, what happens? More energy. What he's saying, fully stocked means less energy, right?
Okay.
Right, buddy? So something else. Okay, full freezer opened frequently, more energy required. But fully stocked, full freezer, half empty freezer, it should have been given more clear, buddy. Full empty, half empty. Right. On average, it takes less energy to keep food frozen. Rohila, have you understood why this is correct?
Yes, sir.
You haven't.
I understood, sir.
Okay. So with this, we are done with all the content. Are there any passages left till here in this book? Any passages still left undiscussed?
Not sure. So
You can please check again. Rohila, I think we discussed everything.
Yes, sir.
Except the long passage. We don't need long passage. There is a passage about appendix. It's too lengthy. Not at all a replica of the questions you will see in your real GR. That's one. Page number 380. Please start from the full section drill. Okay, let's discuss 3 questions at a time. Please finish first 3 questions.
Okay.
Yep, let's discuss. How about the first one?
Sir, is it erratic?
Yes, sir, I got erratic.
Of course, yes. What is meant by erratic?
Uh, Unpredictable.
Correct. So there is a clue, right? Which phrase is giving similar sense from the question stuff?
He was unfazed when she changed her opinion, then changed it back.
So was unfazed when quickly changed her opinion, just quickly changed it back. Yeah. So she is mercurial. Her behavior is mercurial, unpredictably changing behavior. So there is only one option talking about same. Right. Next. How about the question number 2? The teen's explanation, each more complicated or each more, the concept every increasingly elaborate and tortuous, complex, a new offense. So more unclear, something.
Byzantine.
More complicated.
Was it opaque?
There are two options which give similar sense, like complicated.
Yes, sir. Opaque and Byzantine.
No, Byzantine.
Both are.
But we should be able to pick only one. Byzantine can give a meaning like complicated and complex something, but I need something. Her explanations are unclear, right, buddy? So Byzantine doesn't have meaning like that, lack of clarity or something of that sort. It gives a meaning like complex.
Yes.
Okay, so
Yeah,
lack of clarity and complex can have, such sort of meaning can be seen in opaque.
Yeah.
Opaque is the best. Byzantine is not as good as opaque in this context. Is it clear?
Yes. So B and C, sir.
How about this? One example, the dash, the common impression. We have done similar question, right, in the lessons. What are the options you picked, Rohila?
I didn't pick, sir. I didn't do it.
Yep. One example is that the common impression of the Dark Ages as a period of intellectual stagnation is the development of Carolingian manuscript, the first recognizably modern handwriting. So please observe, this is the period was named as Dark Ages, but there is a development. So the name is wrong. I mean, wrongly given name. Wrongly given name means wrongly represented. Okay. So wrongly representing, that is belies.
So it's disagreeing. Yes.
Misrepresent. That misrepresents the common impression of Dark Ages as a period of. The example is actually talking about Carolingian manuscript. There was a development. Modern handwriting was developed in the same age, same period, which was known as Dark Ages. So dash was this new form of handwriting, most ancient surviving text, nearly every classical literary work. It was used in every classical literary work, means it must be omnipresent or it was used vast. So the right option is
Ubiquitous.
ubiquitous. Ubiquitous means you can see everywhere. Clear? Just going with the clues. Right? Seen everywhere. So seen everywhere. Rohila, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Please attempt next 3.